Hi, The Real Dom. This is a video response to your comments about Pascal's Wager, which, in my opinion, is probably one of the easier arguments for the belief in a deity to be refuted. The premises are largely false. One says, if you gain all. Basically, belief in an existing God equals eternal reward, or infinite reward. I can dispute that. Who says? What makes you think that even a deistic God would reward belief? Maybe he prefers that someone take the negative position, which is, in my opinion, the proper course. Okay, so that's that premise. If you lose nothing. Basically belief in a non-existent God equals no loss, no reward. Now, that's not necessarily true either, because one, you could be sacrificing your intellectual honesty. I happen to value that, so that would be a loss. And given that our life is very finite, that would actually be a substantial loss. There's no eternal period of time to sort of balance out that loss. That would be something, you'd lose something precious for the short duration of time you have it. And then it goes on to say the possibilities or the consequences of disbelief. Basically, disbelief in an existing God results in eternal damnation. This I also dispute. Do you really believe that a deistic God would actually damn anybody? Or maybe just the worst of the worst? Even I don't even believe that. Why not? Why is destruction too much for someone? I mean, I don't believe in the concept of hell anyway, so that's a completely false premise anyway. And it only really applies if you do accept that the Judeo-Christian God is the God that you're talking about. The other thing is disbelief in a non-existing God equals no reward, no loss. I mean, I guess it's arguable, but not really that important. Hesitate not to wager that he is. See, that's like a false dichotomy right there. It only assumes one possible type of God, one that will reward belief and punish disbelief. To me, that's completely illogical. Why would God do that? If you are not given enough reason to believe, actual reason, not like fear that maybe I could be wrong, you actually have to have reason to believe. If you're not given reason to believe, then why should you? You shouldn't. I mean, I would admire someone who, if I was sort of a god or whatever, I would admire someone who didn't believe in me if they didn't have reason to, more than I would someone who believed in me without good reason. So there's that, I think. But I think, like I said, assuming that there's only that type of God is a wrong assumption. So he starts out from a very specific concept of God, and it's one that I see no support for in reality, really. And anyway, the long and short of it basically is, how can we know the mind of God? How can we know what he will or will not do? Do you rely on the Bible? I mean, that's pretty flimsy in my opinion, and it's outside of the wager. But it relies on it anyway, which is a great weakness. And besides all this, can you really even make this wager? I don't even see how you can decide to believe something you don't really believe because of the possible gain-loss ratio. That's just, to me, that's kind of ridiculous in itself. And anyway, like I said, maybe God rewards disbelief, who knows? And maybe he just doesn't care, really. Maybe it's not that important. Maybe after you die, you meet him, and then you can, discuss your life and whatnot, and maybe he'll judge it on its individual merits rather than one thing, whether or not you believed in him. That's a completely arbitrary thing, in my opinion, so I just think it's a very bad argument to believe for all those reasons.